Hello, peace be upon you, and a very good afternoon at the time of the recording of this video. Greetings to our lecturer for IHC, Introduction to Human Communication, which is Madam Noor Hafiza, to my fellow friends from Ben, and to whoever else who may be watching this video, wherever I may be uploading and sharing this video afterwards. So in this video, I will be explaining the elements inside my logo, so we're going to look at it one by one. I have listed out a total of 7 elements. Some of them have like their own sub-elements within them. So what we're going to go first is the choices of the color. And first looking at this, you would mainly see the purple outline. The purple is the main color right here, like purple neon-ish. So this in general is because that I have a color preference, which is I would prefer having dark and cold colors. I prefer dark and cold to warm and bright. I just prefer having dark and cold. So next we are going into the headphone. Now, and not necessarily because I have a headphone right here, it's not technically white anyway. So it's because that I do consider myself to be a fan of music. I spend a lot of my time listening to music. I do spend a lot of my time making my own music, composing my own music. And if you're wondering, I use this online software called BandLab. So some of you may be wondering why I don't represent myself as just one instrument. The thing is, I can't do that because have been a lot of different stages within my life that I have different types of music instruments. And going back to the fact that I make my own instruments, I don't have a specific genre that I prefer myself making. So like whatever inspiration that comes into my mind at that time, I just make it the way of how I have it sound in my head, and not necessarily have a preference as to what genre I would make. So I don't symbolize myself with one genre of music nor with one instrument, but I do symbolize myself as a fan of music in general. So next we are going into the 3x3 formation at the very center of the logo right here. Now this would be separated into a few different sub-elements. So first we're going to be talking about the squares that you can see in the 9 squares that are being formed into the 3x3 formation. So this actually, represents a Rubik's Cube. And for those who don't know, I've been into the passion of solving Rubik's Cubes, speed solving Rubik's Cubes to be precise, for over 7 years, right, as of right now. Now if I turn myself a bit to the side, you can see I have a lot of other variations of puzzles as well. And I can't say that the 3x3 is my favorite, but it's one of my favorites. So the next one we're going into is the letters and symbols that fits inside each square right here. Okay, to be honest, they don't really need the squares behind him to be representing one each. I could just make the logo without the squares behind him if not for the Rubik's Cube representation. But alright, so the letters that I use right here, the formation of the letters in itself is actually a mimic that I mimic the style of the game company Supercell. The way how they represent their logo is that their name also has 9 letters, SUPERCELL, 9 letters that fits into the 3x3 formation as well, and they kind of animate that into their own game company logo. And this is really, this is really important for me because Supercell is a game company where their games are the ones that I play most of. The majority of games that I play right now are actually Supercell games. So the crown specifically represents the game of Clash Royale, where the crown represents the unit or the points that we gain inside a battle against another player, and that who has most of it, who has the most crowns, would win. The symbol of the trophy represents the both games of Clash Royale and Clash of Clans, which both are Supercell games. So the trophy in both games represent the ranking of a player, where for example, if you win against a player, you gain trophies, and if you lose against a player, you lose your trophy. So depending on how much trophy you have, your rank will fluctuate depending on the increase and decrease of the amount of trophies that you have for your account as a player inside the game, of course. Now we're gonna proceed into the numbers 5 and 7. I don't really have a specific explanation how the number 57 became my favorite because I don't really have an explanation for it. But I do have a childhood memory as to how it became my favorite number. You know, there was this one time when I was a kid, I was watching TV. There was this one cartoon, and the characters were playing hide and seek. So, as the usual, one person should be doing the counting, and the one who had to do the counting was asking, okay, to what number should I be counting to? So, and then this one friend suggested, oh, how about you count to your favorite number? And at that moment, instantly in my head, snapped the number 57%. And I know the percent is not a part of the number, but I don't know, somehow at that time and age, in my head, the term 57% fits as a word and a term in itself, and I was kind of stuck with it for until this very day. I guess it's a number that represents myself as a favorite number without any like actual legitimate reasoning. Now I'm gonna move on with the logo of the YouTube and Twitch that I put inside the logo right here. Now I know I don't make this logo. That's the very first disclaimer I should have made. I make YouTube and Twitch as my main platforms, as two of the main platforms where I focus most of my content on. We know that YouTube is a platform for uploading videos, and we can engage with people by liking the video, by commenting, and subscribing to the person who upload them. I guess I can say that I've made content on YouTube for a lot of years. Okay, speaking of Twitch, I just started back streaming on Twitch in like a few months ago, like maybe less than a year ago. It's for those who don't know, Twitch is actually a live stream platform where you can interact with the streamer live in real time. So next we're going to talk about my name, or more specifically my username for most of my platforms and for most of the games that I play. So the username that I have been using for a long time right now is the name Hexer57, no spacing, and only the letter H is capitalized. Back then in my secondary school memories, one of the circle of friends that I had, they're all girls, so they have a, how do you say, in their circle of friends, they represent themselves with very unique nicknames, in which that each person has a creature from the undead that represent themselves. They have a ghost, a zombie, a vampire. So I kind of like thought if I could fit in with my own nickname. And of course I don't have a specific monster that represents myself, or at least not anymore. Well, since people know me as a Rubik's Cubes enthusiast, a different word for cube, a different term I would say, is hexahedron. It's a 3D shape with also 6 different sides. So there you go, hexahedron. So with that, one of the friends actually combined the term hexa with my name Amir, so then it became Hexamir. And the number 57 I just added, as of later, when I kind of realized that 57 is my favorite number, then I kind of added into the name Hexamir 57. So I suppose the last thing we can talk about is the name Hexers Lab at the very center of the top center of the logo in itself. So Hexers Lab is the name of a Discord server that I made for myself, for my own content. And I do wish to like combine everything in terms of content, all cubing content, my gaming content, my music content, in that one Discord server. So, and I would like separate between channels, different segments within that server, so people can decide which topic they want to talk about, and how different people have like different names for their own fan base. And since I'm Hexamir, I would like to name my fan base Hexers. It is also an English word that, how do you say, relates to dark magic with dark jinxes and spells. So to represent the people who are doing those kind of dark magic and spells would be Hexers. The lab is a term that I put in for future changes. I was planning to brand myself as this one crazy mad scientist who like to experiment things inside the game, trying out different weird stuff, and try to record data and results from everything I do, from all the crazy stuff I would be doing inside the games. So far I haven't actually invested anything into that. It's a future thought of future changes for myself, for my channel, for my content, for my fan base, and in general. And I will be making this as, for now, I will be making this logo as my main, my main Discord icon for my Discord server. Yeah. So thank you very so much for watching. Bye bye.